Hi, my name is Amanda Voppel, and I decided to do my report on Eric Carle for children's literature. Eric Carle is the famous author of The Very Hungry Caterpillar. He was born in Syracuse, New York in 1929, and then at age 6 he was moved to Germany with his parents, where he graduated and was educated there. He graduated from a liberal arts school and then moved back to the United States in 1952. In 1952, when he moved back, he came back to New York and he only had $40 in his pocket. He got a job at the New York Times as an art director and then also was a graphic designer there. He got another gig at a different place as an art director for an advertising agency, and that's how he was noticed and brought into the children's literature world. Famous author Bill Martin Jr. saw a advertisement he did, and it was a Red Lobster, and Bill Martin Jr. called him and asked him to illustrate one of his books. This book ended up being the very famous Brown Bear, What Do You See? And this was Eric Carle's claim to fame and his way into this world of children's literature and illustrating. The first book that Eric Carle wrote was 1, 2, 3 at the Zoo, and this was published in 1968. So it took Carle almost 20 years to be famous and write his very first book. And he followed that with The Very Hungry Caterpillar the next year, and that is his most famous book and what he has won the most awards for. His children's books are usually inspired by nature or animals, and he also identifies very well with children's feelings and creativity and really wants them to learn as they're reading. For example, in The Very Hungry Caterpillar, the children learn the life cycle of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. So that's a key example of what Eric Carle wants in his books and what he really strives for. I found a quote from Eric Carle that was very interesting, and it said, "With many of my books, I attempt to bridge the gap between the home and the school. To me, home represents warmth, security, toys, holding hands, and being held. School is a strange new place for children." So as you can see, he understands that when kids go to school, they can be very uncomfortable and usually are comfortable at school. So through his illustrations, he tries to make the children more comfortable when they get to school and read books that they've read at home, and then they get to read them at school. So I thought that was really interesting. The themes of his stories are usually drawn from knowledge of love and nature. Like I said, he likes to share his interests with the children and show what he really loves and all the amazing things that he sees in nature that maybe all of us don't see on an everyday basis. His books also give the children the opportunity to learn more about the world around them. Like I said, in The Very Hungry Caterpillar, it talks about the life cycle of a butterfly. And then in Brown Bear, What Do You See? He illustrates all these animals for the children to learn, like the colors of animals and what they look like and characteristics of them. Another quote I found was he really wants kids to have creativity and help develop their intellect through his artwork in his books. He wants to make the reading for the children more stimulating and a more lasting experience. So he really wants to have a huge impact on these kids as he writes books. I have a list on my handout that I made of a couple books he wrote, so I was going to read a couple of my favorite ones off. Brown Bear, What Do You See? I read that to my boyfriend's nephews all the time. It's one of my favorite books, and it's one of theirs. They pick it out all the time when we say they can pick out a book. The Very Hungry Caterpillar, Pancakes, and The Artist Who Painted a Blue Horse. As you can see, all 4 of those books are about animals and nature, and so it really goes with his theme and what other people say about him and what he says about himself. So I am going to read The Very Hungry Caterpillar. The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. It says, "For my sister Christina, The Very Hungry Caterpillar." This is the title page. "In the light of the moon, a little egg lay on a leaf. On Sunday morning, the warm sun came up, and pop, out of the egg came a tiny and very hungry caterpillar. He started to look for some food. On Monday, he ate through one, one apple, but he was still very hungry. On Tuesday, he ate through 2 pears, but he was still hungry. On Wednesday, he ate through 3 plums, but he was still hungry. On Thursday, he ate through 4 strawberries, but he was still hungry. On Friday, he ate through 5 oranges, but he was still hungry. On Saturday, he ate through 1 piece of chocolate cake, 1 ice cream cone, 1 pickle, 1 slice of Swiss cheese, 1 slice of salami, 1 lollipop, 1 piece of cherry pie, 1 sausage, 1 cupcake, and 1 slice of watermelon. That night, he had a stomach ache. The next day was Sunday again. The caterpillar ate through 1 nice green leaf, and after that, he felt much better. Now he wasn't hungry anymore, and he wasn't a little caterpillar anymore. He was a big, fat caterpillar. He built a small house called a cocoon around himself. He stayed inside for more than 2 weeks. Then he nibbled a hole in the cocoon, pushed his way out, and he was a beautiful butterfly. Again, The Very Hungry Caterpillar by Eric Carle. The activity I actually found on the internet when I was looking for fun activities to do with children for this specific book. I'll show you. We have a blue pasta butterfly that I made out of spaghetti. You can also use bow tie pasta. Here's a blue spiral pasta. And then a blue shell pasta. When you do this activity, you dye a bunch of different pasta, all different colors with just food coloring and water. You do shells. You can make butterflies with spaghetti or a bow tie, and a rotini pasta, so a swirly one that will remind the kids of a caterpillar. So the shell is the cocoon, and the rotini is the caterpillar, and the spaghetti is the butterfly. So you can use this in a science class or when you're maybe learning about life cycles of animals or insects. What you do is you have all the different colors, and first you have the kids sort them by colors. So all the blue colors will go together, whether they're the butterfly, the cocoon, or the caterpillar. Then you can sort them by shape. So you put all the shells together, all the rotini together, and all the spaghetti or a bow tie together. Then you put them in groups when you do this, and you can have the kids talk about the life cycle of a caterpillar through the pasta. So they can say they start out as a caterpillar and they eat until they can't eat anymore. Then they go into their shell cocoon for 2 weeks, and then they bite through the cocoon and out comes a butterfly. I thought it would be a really fun idea to glue the macaroni on construction paper in the order of the life cycle, and then maybe have the kids write fun facts below the pasta of what stage the caterpillar is in all the way to a butterfly stage. The last thing I wanted to talk about Eric Carle was some of the awards that he has won and how much of an impact he's had on not only our country but this entire world. The biggest one that I think that he's won is the Laura Ingalls Wilder Award. He's also won the Japan Picture Book Award, and then he won the silver medal for the city of Milano, Italy. So as you can see, he's impacted Italy, Germany, and multiple other countries for the books that he has written. I think Eric Carle is one of the most influential people in children's literature, and especially picture books for little kids. So thank you, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation on Eric Carle.